I'm Charles Meriday, and I'm in the restaurant business. In my 20 years as a chef and restaurant owner, I've been able to work and eat in some of the great kitchens around the globe. There's a whole side of the restaurant that most people will never get to see. So now, I want to take you to the back of the house, into kitchens of some of the best chefs in the world. Along the way, I'll share some of my own tips and recipes so you can cook like a pro too. So join me in the back of the house for a whole new perspective on cooking and food. Roger. Service, please.
Buona Pasqua.
I'm glad that you came. Please.
All right, Alfie Oaks, you know what, thank you so much for having me out here today. And even before we even get started, you know, the one thing I want to do is make sure I just tell you thank you so much for what you've done for us as a company. I mean, without you guys, we wouldn't have experienced the growth that we have. You've truly been just a partner, you know, with us. So there's not, you know, many people I can say that about here in town, that you guys have just, you know, been great to work with. And I love your product, and the farm is beautiful. And I just really appreciate everything that you've done for us.
Well, we obviously appreciate being your supplier, and our Seed to Table program that we started this past year is all about bringing this fresh product that we grow and pick every day on a daily basis into your restaurant, and we're very proud to be a part of it.
Well, I tell you what, it shows all the way from out here in the field, you know, until it gets to the table in all three of our restaurants. These guys are our number one provider for produce and vegetables in all of our restaurants. And how many other restaurants do you think you supply?
Right now we're servicing about 115 restaurants in Naples and Fort Myers, and we also have the Collier County school system that we're delivering to every single school there. So,
oh wow, you're doing Collier County schools? So.
Yeah,
Well, that's excellent. That makes me feel better about my kids' school lunches. So,
one of the things that we're really proud to offer is this is fresh picked romaine lettuce. It's obviously picked every morning and sent out to the restaurants. Typically, the most of the restaurants in the country are getting California product that is picked maybe a week ahead of time and shipped. And to be able to get this product that's so fresh and picked daily to Charles is part of what our Seed to Table program is all about.
and on top of that, it's all organic.
It's all organic
and beautiful.
Absolutely.
Too.
Yeah, the lettuce is actually one of the easier items to grow organically down here in Florida. The tomatoes and peppers and everything are a little more difficult just because of the white flies and different things. Yeah, they seem to don't bother the lettuces, so they grow. As you can see, we have a lot of lettuces and cold crops out here because they are one of the easier crops.
To have a little taste of this one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it's in here, so might as well.
Doesn't get any fresher than that.
No, that's right. Well, you can absolutely taste the difference in something that just comes right out of the soil.
Yeah. You know what's cool is they did, Rutgers University did a study on like an apple, and they picked an apple from the tree, and then they showed the electric energy that was inside of that apple, and that one day later it was half, and a week later it was a tenth.
Gone, yeah.
Well, it sits in there, and then they even went and took some controlled atmosphere apples out of the coolers that they have in Washington State. The Washington State apples a lot of times are controlled atmosphere for 8 or 9 months.
Okay.
And it still had that small amount of, but you'd have to eat 1,000 of those to get the same energy. And that's one of the things I think that even for overall health that our medical system doesn't take into consideration, is that no matter what you say, when you pluck that living apple off the tree and put it into your body, there's something different that happens inside of our bodies that does not happen when you eat something that's picked for 7 or 8 months, or that you'd have to eat so many more to get that. And as far as the USDA determine, each apple is the same nutritional value, and I think there's very, very different
I mean,
very different way that it affects us. So,
that makes a lot of sense.
one of the really cool things about the organic farm is we have about 40 different items out here that are picked every day, and Renee Garza, that runs the operation out here, actually goes through and harvests the right amounts that we need daily and brings them in every single morning to the Food and Thought store. Keeping that product flowing in at the right amounts every day has really helped to give us a fresh product there. This organic farm we're very blessed to have it in an area where there's no other pressure from conventional farms, especially. Right. So we feel pretty confident that with the way that the area is building up around here, that we won't have to worry in the future about any. It
seems like a lot more traffic and residential out here than I was expecting, to be honest with you. Yeah. Which brings me to my next question. You ever run any animals or any kind of wild stuff out here? Or?
At this particular farm, not too many. Okay. I mean, we get some rabbits and occasional deer. Out at the other big farms, really big issues. We have hogs and turkeys.
Wild hogs?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
This year
wild hogs and wild turkeys and stuff?
Yeah, the turkeys were the biggest problem this year at the other farm. We were putting seed in the ground, and as fast as we put the seed in the ground, the turkeys were going down there and eating the seeds out of the rows. So,
that's something you never even think. I didn't even know that they even were here.
Yeah. No, at the conventional farm, sometimes you'll drive through in the morning and see 100 wild turkeys all in a bunch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. Yeah. I love to see that.
Situated here, make sure.
Let me make sure I get a nice dig of worms when I come in here. Okay.
Oh, look at that, man.
These are our worm beds here, and there's literally millions of worms that live here. Every single day, we'll take some of the old product from Food and Thought that we have, the waste product, and we'll throw it on top, and it composts in here. The worm castings that we get from this are put out in each bed. Every time that we run a new bed out there, we'll put about a handful every 10 feet. And it's loaded with microbes. It increases the microbial activity in the soil and gives our organic product that good flavor, and also turns our Florida sand into more like a real soil. So this is a really important part of our organic operation out here.
Look at that.
Also, we make what we call a compost tea that we spray with the sprayer. What we'll take a couple handfuls of the worm casting, and you put overnight. We'll put maybe 200 or 300 gallons of water in there, and we'll run a pump that runs overnight, and we put molasses in there. Okay. And what happens is those millions of microbes that are already in there regenerate just overnight. It turns into billions and billions of microbes.
Wow.
And then that's in that spray material. Then we spray it on the plants, and it keeps the same thing. It just keeps a lot of good microbial activity on the plants. It's very healthy. Actually helps thwart off disease, different bacteria. Things like
is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
The microbial activity is so important. A lot of people don't know the way that your fertilizer actually gets to the root of the plant is through the microbes. The microbes actually transfer that energy back and forth. So that's why it's so important to have good microbial activity in the soil. It makes the fertilizer that is in the soil much more available to the plant. Try that one.
Fresh organic strawberry right out of the ground. Oh.
Nothing like eating it fresh off the plant.
Oh, that's just delicious.
The strawberries, same thing. We grow the strawberries for the winter season. They'll be good until about the 1st of May, and most of these are all produced for the Food and Thought store or our food service. This here is the greenhouse where we start all the seedlings for all of our plants. They'll usually stay in here for about maybe 3 or 4 weeks, sometimes even up to 6 weeks, depending on what we're trying to germinate. But we start it off in here, and then we go and plug them into the grow beds when they're ready. This is another little niche item. This is the speckled butter lettuce. You put it, but you put it in the bad spot because you're going to have the high core you weren't thinking about. Yeah.
I need to move a little bit.
This is dragon fruit here. these have been in here for about 2 years. You can usually start getting the first fruit off of the plant within 1 year.
Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen these live before. I've seen dragon fruit for years, but I never knew what the actual plant looked like.
Yeah.
Man, that is amazing.
Yeah, everybody like it. Eric, I send it to Eric because somebody needed.
You eat these?
Yeah, Eric,
Oh, I love these.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now we're going to take a ride over to the fish farm, and we have chickens out there, and it's just a whole nother element of some of our organic growing operation.
Cool.
This particular property here, we originally bought it to do a fish farm and greenhouse, and our new idea for this property is to set it up to do nothing but field trips here to help get the word out about our Seed to Table program.
Wow, so that's solely just for exposure then?
This thing is actually just totally going to be for exposure. We're actually building a tree house on that beautiful oak over there, so that the idea is to have the school kids come out and go through the whole property and harvest all the food, like the fish, the eggs, all the different vegetables, and then while they're playing a little bit, we're going to have a chef prepare the meal, and then they can eat what they harvested before they leave.
Awesome.
So,
man,
yeah. This whole entire greenhouse is all red and yellow peppers, and we also grow it in this coconut core. This is basically just ground up coconut husk.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Just on our own. Just on and then.
Wow, look at that.
These fish here, this is what we call death row. These are the ones that are getting ready to get getting ready to get cut. These are purging, so these will all get filleted later tonight or in the morning.
Oh,
so right now these 4 tanks are filled up with tilapia. We got the striped bass are in these 2. These 2 are going to be shrimp. So we're going to put about a month from now, we'll put our first shrimp in here. The shrimp only take 4 months to cycle, like to go from a little insect to a full-size shrimp. These are mostly all males, but there's a handful of females, and the females, when they'll lay their egg, and then the male will come by and fertilize the egg, and then the female will actually take those eggs and hold them in her mouth. So as we're pulling out our fish, when we see a female that has the swollen mouth, we pull her out and we put her in what we call the nursery tank.
okay.
And that nursery tank will separate until she lets all the babies go when they're ready, and then she'll let them out, and you'll see all the thousands of little babies floating on the top. So right here we have.
Okay, wow.
So that's from one female fish. That was
That's from one fish?
She was holding that many eggs in her mouth, and then when she lets it go, that just comes out of one. You know, because in the wild, the survival rate is so minimal that's how many come out of one fish there. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Where did you learn about fish farming?
I really just online. Yeah. we had a few guys that came out to help, but we ended up changing a lot of different things just to do our own way. Certainly don't even consider myself an expert in it. We're just learning as we go, but it seems to be doing well.
It looks pretty expert right here, right now, for sure.
We call it a chicken condo.
Yeah.
This is we built this mainly for the exposure to when we do the field trips, to have somewhere where the kids could come and see chickens laying fresh eggs. But also, obviously, we'll be able to take all the fresh eggs and take them to our store and sell them at the store every morning fresh.
Thanks a lot, man. This was incredible. It was great to see this entire process and really get to understand how it all happens. Amazing facility, and everything you guys do is just top notch.
Oh, we're really happy to be a part of your success there, and look forward in staying with you and providing you with this good, fresh, local product.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.
Mhm.
Hi, my name is Freedom Teague. I'm the chef here at Food and Thoughts. We've been working here, or I've been working here since about 2004, and I enjoy bringing healthy food to all of our customers on a daily basis. So we're gonna cook an asparagus veggie saute medley over some quinoa, and it's some veggies fresh from our farm. So a little bit of olive oil. So we're gonna start off with some carrots and garlic. Like that. Simmer. Sprinkle that on. Some oregano and thyme and some sea salt and some black pepper. It just takes a couple minutes sauteing all of these vegetables together. And towards the end, we add the sun-dried tomatoes, the Kalamata olives, some cherry tomatoes. Take that out. And then at the very end, I have a little bit of white wine. Just cooked a couple minutes ago. Put it on the plate. Get all the colors. We serve this here at the cafe. This would be our veggie entree on any day of the week, given day of the week. So we have here. Looks really healthy. Ready to be eaten.
Don't go away, there'll be more cooking and food when Back of the House returns. After these messages. Alto Live Jazz Kitchen is Southwest Florida's new hotspot for dinner and nightlife. Featuring local and nationally known jazz acts 7 nights a week, award-winning cuisine, a full bar, and extensive wine list, Alto is the ultimate destination for great music and food. Come see what everyone is talking about at Alto Live Jazz Kitchen, located in Bayfront, downtown Naples, or go to altonaples.com for a current menu and entertainment schedule.
All right, so today we're here with Will. He's the owner of Naples Beach Brewery. Will, it's great to see you again.
Good
First
to see
of all,
you too. Nice to see you, Charles.
Tell us a little bit about the brewery and your whole program. A little about yourself.
Yeah, Naples Beach Brewery. Been here since we opened in 2012, right around Thanksgiving time, and been brewing beer, packaging in kegs only. So we're doing draft beer only currently. Got about somewhere between 60 and 70 local retailers serving the beer. We do predominantly ales, full flavored beers out of here. People who are looking for craft beer. We've got many different styles that we specialize in. And like I said, we're just kind of going through the motions of an expansion and taking the next step.
Well, we feature Will's beer exclusively on draft at Mereday's Fine Dining, and also we carry it at the brasserie as well. So we think very highly of it, and Will. Will, can you maybe walk us through the brewing process for people at home that don't have any clue how beer is made or what it's all about? Maybe show us a little bit about that.
Well, right here we have our brewing system. So we've got a 3-vessel system. We yield 125 gallons per batch. Basically, we are using hot water, which we heat in our vessel here to the far left. We use our hot water. And the next step of the brewing process is we transfer the hot water to our middle vessel. While we're transferring hot water into our middle vessel, which we call the mash tun, we're mixing in malted grains, predominantly malted barley. The mixture of water and grain is called the mash, hence the name the mash tun for the vessel. Once we get the mash into the mash tun, we're going to stir it up really nicely so it's good and hydrated, and we're going to let it sit there for roughly 1 hour so that we can get an enzymatic conversion of starches to sugars.
Oh wow, okay, that's fast in 1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour. 1 hour gets the enzymatic activity. So we start with a hot water mixed with grain. We end after 1 hour with a sugar solution. Our goal now is to get all the sugars out of the mash tun and move them over to our third vessel there, which is the boil kettle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you're leaving all the solids in here?
Yeah, there's a false bottom in the bottom of the mash tun. It allows the liquid to pass through, holds back all of the grain.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So once we get the sugar solution over to the boil kettle, we then obviously boil it there in the boil kettle. The main reason for boil is to sterilize the liquid, so we're making our product food safe at that point.
Okay.
And we're also adding hops and or spices. If we're doing some sort of spice brew during the boil, the hot temperatures of boiling liquid are really good at extracting the acids from the hops as well as the aromatic oils from the spices.
Okay, so you're adding the hops at the boiling point?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And throughout the boil typically lasts 60 minutes, but it could last a little bit longer. During the boil, we're adding hops and at different times throughout that boil to impart different flavors and aromas from whichever hops we choose for that particular brew.
All right, so Will, tell us how you determine what hops you use for what brew.
Hops are style dependent, depending on which beer. Obviously, if we were doing something like an American IPA or Pale Ale, we're going to choose American style hops. Most of the hops grown in America are coming from the Pacific Northwest. Those hops are known to be citrus, a lot of floral, some piney character, a lot of aggressively flavored and hops that have a lot of aroma also.
All right, so what's next?
So once we get done with the boil, sometime between 60 and 75 minutes for the boiling process, we now need to cool our sugar solution down, which we call wort, W-O-R-T. The wort needs to be chilled to somewhere in the mid-60s for our purposes, and then we're going to transfer out of the boil kettle and put the wort into one of our fermentation vessels, which we would have cleaned and sterilized prior to us going into. It takes about 1 hour to get it from the boil kettle completely into one of our fermentation vessels, where we're then going to pitch our brewer's yeast, and the yeast will go to work performing the fermentation process.
Okay, and then how long does the beer ferment before it's ready?
It really depends on what style of beer. We have some beers that'll ferment as fast as 6 days, 6 or 7 days. Some of our higher alcohol beers are going to take all the way up to a full 2 weeks, 14 days.
Oh wow, okay. So from the brew process through fermentation process is approximately 6 to 14 days then.
For the beers that we have here at our brewery, yes.
Okay, great.
Some beers will get longer even than that, depending on if they're lagers. Lagers are that bottom feeding yeast. It takes a lot longer to ferment a lager, so you're looking at almost 30 days to do a lager fermentation.
Wow, okay. That's all interesting. Tell, how'd you get started on this?
I was a home brewer. I really, I was really interested in making my own beer at home. Fell in love with the science and the actual work of brewing, and figured that I wanted to be a professional brewer.
Wow.
So went back to school, so to speak, to a brewing school up in Chicago.
Okay.
Did the full program that they offered, which was 12 weeks. And then once I got out of the 12-week program, I got a job at a local brewery up in Michigan, where I'm originally from. And I worked as kind of like an apprentice there for a few years while I ironed out a business plan and tried to raise the capital for my own brewing operation.
Sure. Tell us what's unique about your style that may be different than other breweries.
Well, you know, I will say it's a little tougher nowadays to be unique, being that there are a lot of breweries out there. But I think our style of brewing here is unique in that we are concentrating on fresh, full flavored beers. I really get a kick out of providing the local community with fresh tasting beer. So most of the beer you're going to consume, if not all of the beer you consume from our brewery locally, is probably no more than a few weeks old. And I think that is a really nice selling point. Also, we concentrate on doing a lot of different beer styles when we can. So if we have the capacity to venture into different beers, we'll definitely get in there, try our hand at a new style, and try to educate the community on what's available out there other than, you know, your typical light lager.
So, Will, one of the cool things I remember you were working on was the mango triple. Is that
Yes.
still happening? Is that something you're working on still?
Absolutely, it's our signature beer here at the brewery.
Okay.
We've definitely focused on making it our beer. We still don't distribute it away from the brewery because we don't have the capacity to keep up with what we feel would be the demand. But we sell it as, if you come visit us here at Naples Beach Brewery, that'll always be one of the beers you get to sample and you get to try it out.
It's really absolutely amazing. When I tasted it the first time, it's unbelievable. I'll never taste anything, you know, quite like it before. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. That's one of the best beers I've ever had. It really is. For it to be a triple, it's just so smooth and it
Yeah.
has so much flavor and character. Wow. Coconut coffee,
Coconut cream coffee.
coconut cream coffee.
So we use coconut cream flavored coffee beans, and we kind of beat the coffee beans up a little bit to start releasing the aromatics.
Monster coffee right there, man.
Hey,
That is serious
it is,
coffee.
but it's not a lot of coffee for like 100 gallons of beer. It's less than a pound of coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the nose though,
Yeah,
right?
it's
The nose is
right.
just like,
You're
wow.
gonna get a tiny bit in the flavor, but the stout itself is rich too. So
Wow. Man, that is Flavor City right there, my bro. Woo. That's about as much of that as I could, you know what I mean? That's all you need right there.
yeah, it's a nice little
It's like the espresso of beers. I think one of the most unique things about Will and Naples Beach Brewery is I think that you're maybe the only local brewer here in Naples.
That's correct.
I don't think there's another brewer, you know, here in Naples. And if so, especially not one that's as focused and doing the kind of things that Will is doing. You know, so amazing. Thank you so much,
Thank
Will.
you, sir.
I really appreciate you having us
Absolutely.
out.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And